Hey, this is Dr. Hymers in my office.
这是海罗博士在我办公室里。
Este es Dr. Hymers en mi oficina.
I am going to talk to you just in English.
现在仅仅用英文告诉大家一件事儿。
Le hablaré solamente en inglés.
But we'll be back in just a few minutes to preach the sermon, and that'll be in English and Spanish and Chinese as always.
再过一会儿呢，我们讲到的时候就是用3种语言了：中文、英文、西班牙语。
Pero regresaremos en unos minutos para predicar el sermón y será en inglés, español y chino como siempre.
So keep watching.
继续观看下。
Sigue mirando.
Now at the top of your screen is an address where you can write to get these 2 books. We're offering these 2 books, one by Dr. Kagan and one by me, and 2 books for the price of 1. This is Dr. Kagan's book, From Darwin to Design. It is a book on showing the untenable nature, the falseness of the Darwinian theory of evolution, and he does a fine job. Dr. Kagan has a PhD in mathematics from UCLA, and he has written this wonderful book. I helped him a little bit with the English of it. And Dr. Henry M. Morris, the founder of the Institute for Christian Research, said, "It's a delight to read." And Dr. D. James Kennedy said, "A word of warning to those who may pick up this book by chance, you most likely will not be able to put it down." Darwin to Design shows how Dr. Kagan, a staunch atheist, gradually began realizing the laws governing the universe are too precise to point to anything but intelligent design by God. I want you to have this book, and I want you to have this one as well. This one is my autobiography. It's called Against All Fears. Dr. Kagan wrote on the back, "You will laugh, you will cry, it will encourage you when you're ready to give up." Dr. Paige Patterson, the president of Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, said, "Read this book and you will be blessed." This is my autobiography, and it's quite a book. It's got photographs of me with everybody from Richard Nixon to Billy Graham, and I met some real heavy Christians in my day, as the hippies would say. And this is my life story. Moish Rosen, Jews for Jesus, Patrick Buchanan, Dr. Bob Jones Jr., Richard Nixon, President Reagan, pictures with me, and I met these great men, Dr. W.A. Criswell, Dr. Robert L. Sumner, and Dr. John R. Rice, Dr. Richard Rembrandt, Dr. Bill Bright, and Dr. Jerry Falwell. These are some of the men that I've met, Billy Graham, over the years, and Francis Schaeffer. And I want you to have this book. It's my unvarnished and truthful autobiography, how I came up as a boy, a virtual orphan, and how I came into the ministry and failed as a missionary, but now I'm pastor of the only independent fundamental Baptist church in downtown Los Angeles. This book will blow you away. It's called Against All Fears. A frightened boy overcame incredible obstacles and became an inspiration to millions. I'm going to send you both these books because I believe you need them. You will read them yourself, and if you're a pastor, you'll teach these books to your young people. They're tremendous books. This one is on showing the fallacies, the unreliability of Darwinian evolution. This one is my autobiography, how I became a Christian, and I'm responsible for preaching these sermons all over the world. These books would sell for $25 each if you bought them in a bookstore. We're letting you have both of them for $25, and that includes postage. Write to me, Dr. R.L. Hymers Jr., Dr. Hymers, Hymers, at the address on the top of the screen, Post Office Box 15308, Los Angeles, California 90015. Make a check out to the Baptist Tabernacle of Los Angeles or to Dr. R.L. Hymers Jr. Either way, it'll get to me, and we'll send you both these books. This is a $50 $50 offer, you'll get both of them for $25. That includes shipping. So please write to us. Now we're going into the service, which is now underway, and God bless you for watching.
Welcome to this service on Saturday afternoon at the Baptist Tabernacle. In just a moment, you will hear Dr. Hymers preach. But before he comes, give Mr. Griffith a welcome as he comes to sing for us.
One sat alone beside the highway begging. His eyes were blind, the light he could not see. He clutched his rags and shivered in the shadows. Then Jesus came and bade his darkness flee. When Jesus comes, the tempter's power is broken. When Jesus comes, the tears are wiped away. He takes the gloom and fills the life with glory. For all is changed when Jesus comes to stay. From home and friends, the evil spirits drove him. Among the tombs he dwelt in misery. He cut himself as demon powers possessed him. Then Jesus came and set the captive free. When Jesus comes, the tempter's power is broken. When Jesus comes, the tears are wiped away. He takes the gloom and fills the life with glory. For all is changed when Jesus comes to stay. So men today have found the Savior able. They could not conquer passion, lust, and sin. Their broken hearts had left them sad and lonely. Then Jesus came and dwelt himself within. When Jesus comes, the tempter's power is broken. When Jesus comes, the tears are wiped away. He takes the gloom and fills the life with glory. For all is changed when Jesus comes to stay. For all is changed when Jesus comes to stay.
Amen. If you're watching this on YouTube or on our website, we're in a Bible conference that we have every year on Labor Day weekend.
通过 YouTube 通过我们视频观看，介绍一下，我们是每年的我们的劳动节周末的时候，我们圣经研讨会。
Kami lang po YouTube sito ang mga konferensya biblika tenemos cada día de obreros.
Thank you for watching with us. I will preach 3 evangelistic sermons. That's what I do. And the rest will be Bible studies by John Kagan, Dr. Kagan, and our guest speaker, Dr. Elmer Towns of Liberty University. God bless you, sir. We're glad to have you with us.
这个周末，牧师要讲3篇福音宣告。其他朋友呢 ，Elmer Towns 从自由大学过来，他的奠基人之一，来给我们讲，而且还有凯根博士，还有约翰。
Now, tenemos acá Dr. Elmer Towns.
Please stand together and turn to page 1222. in the Schofield Reference Bible.
请打开圣经，我们中英对照了新约269页上哥林多前书11章23节。
Voltea în 1 Corintios 11:23.
I learned that from Dr. Jack Hiles.
这是 Jack Hyle 博士教
He had everybody in his church get a Schofield Study Bible, and then they could all turn to the same page. We do that here because there are lots of young people coming in that have never read the Bible. Give them the page number 1222, 1122. And I got it wrong. I wrote it down wrong. And we're turning to 1 Corinthians. It is 1-2. 1 Corinthians chapter 11.
哥林多前书11章23节。
1 Corintios capítulo 11.
After talking about that, I turned to the wrong page myself. And we're reading 1 Corinthians 11, 23 to 26.
我们从23节读到26节。
1 Corintios 11:23-26.
For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you.
我当日传给你们的，原是从主领受的。
Porque yo recibí del Señor lo que también os he enseñado.
That the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread.
就是主耶稣被卖的那一夜，拿起饼来，
Que el Señor Jesús la noche que fue entregado tomó pan.
And when he had given thanks, he brake it.
注谢了就掰开，
Y habiendo dado gracia lo partió.
And said, Take, eat, this is my body which is broken for you.
说这是我的身体，为你们舍的，你们当吃。
Y dijo, tomad, comed, este es mi cuerpo que por vosotros
This
partido.
do in remembrance of me.
你们应当如此行，为了纪念我。
Haced esto en memoria de mí.
After the same manner also, he took the cup when he had supped,
饭后也照样拿起杯来说，
Asimismo tomó también la copa después de haber cenado.
saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood.
说这杯是用我的血所立的新约。
Diciendo esta copa el nuevo pacto mi sangre.
This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me.
你们每逢喝的时候，就要如此行，为的是纪念我。
Haced esto todas las veces que le bebieras en memoria de mí.
For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he come.
你们每逢吃着饼、喝着杯，就是要表明主的死，直到他来。
Así pues todas las veces que comiera este pan, bebiera esta copa, la muerte del Señor anuncia.
You may be
hasta que
seated.
venga.
走，
It was my privilege to win a young woman to Christ last Sunday night.
上礼拜天晚上，我很荣幸能够赢得一位女士信主，
Fue mi privilegio guiar a una mujer joven a Jesús en la noche pasada domingo.
And she's here tonight.
今天晚上跟我们在一起。
Está acá esta noche.
I had not won a soul for several weeks.
几周以来呢，一直没有赢得一个心灵了我。
No había ganado a alguien por semana.
I had been preaching on discipleship.
我一直在宣讲有关做门徒的事，
Estaba predicando sobre discipulado.
That's an important subject.
很重要的题材。
Es tema importante.
But it didn't give me half as much joy as leading that young woman to Christ.
但是带领这位年轻女士赐给我的喜悦呢，超过了那个引导你前做门徒。
Pero no me dio tanto gozo como que guiar a esa muchacha joven en Jesús.
If you read my life story, you know how much I hated studying 3 long years in a liberal seminary.
如果你读过我的生平故事，就知道我多么憎恶在自由派神学里面读了3年书。
Si es en la vida mía, sabe que yo 10 de estudiar en el seminario.
But I was able to lead 2 lost Baptist preachers to Christ while I was there, and that gave me a lot of joy, and I was able to go through it.
但在那3年之间读书过程中，我引导2位进信教会的宣道士信主，让我充满了喜悦。
Pero pude guiar 2 personas perdidas a Jesús y eso me dio mucho gozo.
I think that's why the Apostle Paul told young Timothy, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist.
我认为那正是保罗告诉年轻提摩太的原因，就是说要忍受苦难，做传道的功夫。
Por eso Pablo le dijo a Timoteo de endura de aflicción al hombre de evangelista.
I believe the Apostle Paul knew that Timothy could endure afflictions if he did the work of an evangelist.
我认为保罗知道，如果提摩太真正做传道的功夫，他就可以忍耐苦难。
Yo creo que él sabía que podía aguantar la aflicción si hacía la obra de evangelista.
Each soul that Timothy won would make him so joyful that he could endure afflictions no matter how bad they were.
提摩太赢得的每一个灵魂，让他充满了喜乐，让他可以忍受苦难，坚持下去。
Cada alma que ganaba le daba gozo que podía aguantar la aflicción.
I was creaking along here, and I felt like a young man again last Sunday night after I won that girl to Christ.
我本来已经老态龙钟了，但上礼拜天晚上赢得了那位女孩子之后呢，我感觉又年轻了起来。
Me sentí como joven cuando guié a esa muchacha de Jesús el domingo pasado.
And of course, I'm not talking about, a quick prayer. We could have done that anytime. I'm talking about a real conversion, not a decision.
当然，我们讲的不是举手诀，是做很快的罪人祷告，是真实的转变。
No estoy hablando de una oración rápida
I have been preaching evangelistic sermons for over 60 years.
我宣讲福音已经超过60年了，
He predicado evangelística más de 60 años.
And I have no desire to stop now.
现在仍然不想停止宣讲。
Ningún deseo de parar ahora.
Why would any man want to retire from doing something that makes him happy?
如果有人做他自己喜欢的事，他为什么要退休呢？
¿Por qué te vas a jubilar de algo que te hace contento?
I like that old song, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves. If you've never brought a sheave in, you don't know what joy is.
带禾捆回来，带禾捆回来。这首圣诗唱到了我们内心的喜乐。
Regocijando, trayendo la cosecha.
We used to have a young man from Puerto Rico in our church, and he would sing that, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. I said, why do you call it sheep? He said, well, I don't know what sheaves are. I said, I'll tell you. I told him what sheaves were. My father used to work on a farm up in Canada, and I knew what a sheave was. He didn't. Sheave is a bunch of people. We don't get a bunch of people in the inner city, but we get one, and when we get one, we rejoice just as much as somebody else that got 10 or 15. Amen.
禾捆就是我们带回来的收获，那些果实。
Antes teníamos un puertorriqueño que no sabía que era la cosecha porque decía.
And so I rejoiced again last Sunday night
所以上礼拜天晚上我再次喜乐了，
Regocijando el año pasado.
when I helped that young woman to find Christ.
因为我引导那位年轻女士信主。
Cuando vi a ese muchacho encontrar a
But
Jesús.
I could never have helped her if I had not known what was in our text.
但如果我不知道我们今天经文里面那个话的话，我永远无法帮助她。
No le podía haber ayudado si no sabía lo que estaba en el texto.
Take, eat. This is my body which is broken for you.
你们吃吧，这是我的身体为你们舍的。
Tomad, comed de este mi cuerpo que vosotros han partido.
This cup is the New Testament in my blood.
这杯是用我的血所立的新约。
Esta copa es el nuevo pacto en mi sangre.
If I had only talked about the death of Christ, I know that girl would not have been saved.
如果我仅仅谈到耶稣基督的死亡的话，这个女孩子不会得救。
Si solamente hubiera hablado de
Some preacher watching this might say, what do those verses have to do about soul winning?
结果有些这个牧师看我们的观看的时候，为什么这几节经文跟得人有什么
Dices
关
que
系？
tiene que ser esto con ganar almas.
Those verses speak of the Lord's Supper.
这就是主圣餐那么讲的。
Estos versos hablan de la cena del Señor.
Here's what those verses say to me.
这几节经文对我有这样的含义。
Esto es lo que los versos dicen a mí.
There are two elements in the Lord's Supper,
在主圣餐中间有两个元素，
Hay dos cosas de la cena del Señor.
not one.
并非一样。
No uno.
First, Christ's body died on the cross to pay the penalty for our sin.
第一，基督的身体死在了十字架上，来偿还我们的罪恶。
Primero, el cuerpo de Jesús murió en la cruz para pagar el castigo de nuestro pecado.
But second, the blood of Christ cleanses us from all sin.
但仍然还有第二点，基督的宝血洒在了十字架上，清洗我们的罪恶。
Segundo, la sangre de Jesús nos limpia de todo pecado.
All kinds of things are happening today that I never saw or never heard of.
如今很多事情我以前从来没听说过的东西。
Todo este tipo de cosas pasan hoy que nunca se escuchó.
When I was a teenager, the people next door took me to church, and that was back in the early 1950s. I've seen a great many strange things since then.
我从50年代十几岁的时候，我邻居带我去教会，到现在见过很多奇怪的东西。
En los 50 los vecinos me llevaron a la iglesia y he visto cosas raras desde entonces.
One strange thing is that new evangelicals are now teaching that the blood and the body are the same thing.
有些新福音派教的新的东西，就是死亡，基督的死，看到的血呢是个同义词。
Una cosa rara es de que los evangélicos están enseñando de que la sangre y el cuerpo es igual.
A metonym, one for the other.
一个就是代名词，血的代表，死的
Que
代名词。
significa lo mismo uno a la otra.
If he is right, why are two elements in the Lord's Supper?
如果他是正确的，为什么主圣
If
餐
the blood means the death, why not just have the bread? That's what the Roman Catholics did for 1,000 years.
所以如果他正确，为什么主圣餐里面有两个元素呢？
Si hay dos, entonces ¿por qué solamente pan?
Things that are different are not the same.
不同的两个东西绝对不是一样的。
Cosas que son diferentes no son igual.
When I was studying in that liberal seminary, one of my professors quoted Harry Emerson Fosdick almost every class.
我在自由派神学院读书的时候，几乎有个教会每堂课都要引用佛斯迪克的话。
En el seminario liberaron los profesores de citaba Harry Emerson Fosdick.
And that professor called Harry Emerson Fosdick a defender of Christianity.
教授把这福斯迪克称为基督教的捍卫者。
Dijo de que era defensor de la cristiandad.
What a deception. Actually, Fosdick was a bitter enemy of Christ and the Bible.
事实上，福斯迪克就是基督和圣经的仇敌。
Fosdick era de enemigo de Jesús en la Biblia.
When Dr. Fosdick was teaching at Union Theological Seminary, the great Chinese evangelist Dr. John Sung was studying there.
当福斯迪克在这个联合神学院、协和神学院里面任职的时候呢，伟大的华人传教士宋尚杰刚在那里读书。
Cuando Fosdick enseñaba de ahí, el John Sung, el evangelista chino, estuvo ahí.
John Sung had gone to that seminary a lost man.
要叫宋尚杰去到那个神学院的时候，仍然是迷途的人。
John Sung fue de ese seminario perdido.
One night in January, he had an experience where he saw Christ in a vision dropping blood on him
结果有一
from the
个
cross.
1月份的晚上的时候，宋尚杰感受到了耶稣的宝血清洗他的体验。
En enero tuvo la visión de Jesús derramando sangre sobre de la cruz.
He was so delighted to be converted, to be saved by the blood of the crucified one, that he ran up and down the halls telling all the other students.
结果他由此呢感觉到非常欣喜，结果走上这个各个的宿舍里面告诉别人，
Estaba tan contento de ser salvo por la sangre del crucificado que dijo a los otros
The
estudiantes.
blood of Christ has cleansed me from all sin.
基督的宝血清洗了我一身的罪孽。
La sangre de Jesús me ha limpiado de todo pecado.
He even told Dr. Fosdick that.
他甚至告诉了福斯迪克博士，
Aún le dijo al doctor Fosdick eso.
Dr. Fosdick put him in chains and dragged him away to a mental institution.
结果福斯迪克博士把他呢宋尚杰锁起来，关进了疯人院，
Lo pusieron esposas de lo llevaron a un manicomio,
Where he spent months in chains.
在那里面几个月受的锁链锁。
donde pasó meses de amarrado.
By the intervention of God, Dr. Sung escaped from being in prison.
结果神插手了，宋尚杰从这个囚禁里面逃出来。
Dios ayudó, doctor Sung se escapó de ese manicomio.
He went back to China and became a world famous evangelist.
回到中国之后，成为世界知名的宣道士。
Regresó a China, fue gran evangelista mundial.
But listen to what Harry Emerson Fosdick said about the blood of Christ.
但你听听福斯迪克是怎么讲耶稣基督宝血的。
Escucha lo que dijo Fosdick acerca de la sangre de Jesús.
He said the blood of Christ has been carried over from primitive concepts.
他说基督宝血的概念是个原始的概念，进入了基督教。
La sangre de Jesús dijo ha sido primitivamente de conceptos.
He said semi-magical ideas concerning the blood are woven into some Christian hymns and sermons and prayers to this day.
他说对这个宝血的半神奇的概念已经融入了基督教的诗歌、宣道和祷告之内。
Como que si fuera mágica con la sangre de los himnos de los sermones de hoy.
What blows my mind is that many new evangelicals now believe exactly what Fosdick believed about the blood of Jesus.
让我吃惊的是，如今许多新福音派的人正像福斯迪克的概念一样。
Lo que me asombra de hoy es que nuevos evangélicos creen igual que Fosdick acerca de la sangre de
And
Jesús.
these new evangelical preachers say things like this.
他们这些新福音派这样说，
Los nuevos evangélicos dicen esto,
I'm actually quoting one man,
我引用一个人这样说。
citando un hombre.
a famous new evangelical Bible teacher. He said, quote, Christ's own physical, I've got it written out. I've got it in the book that he wrote. Christ's own physical blood does not cleanse us from sin.
基督本身物质的血无法清洗我们的罪恶。
Este dijo que la sangre de Jesús no nos limpia de pecado.
I'm glad he's wrong, or I wouldn't be able to stand here preaching to you tonight, because the blood of Christ is what cleansed my sin.
我很高兴他这样定下来，如果没有基督的宝血的话，我无法得救。
Estoy contento que esté equivocado porque si no lo que había estado predicando, la sangre limpió mis pecados.
And the tragedy of this is that many preachers are being confused by it.
很多牧师宣道士因为他说这句话受到了混乱。
Muchos predicadores están confundidos.
This same man said blood is used as a substitute for death, unquote.
同一个人还说呢，血呢只不过就是死亡的代名词。
Este me dijo que la sangre de eso ha sustituido por la muerte.
I wonder how that man can serve the Lord's Supper, which clearly teaches that the body and the blood of Jesus are two different things. As Mickey Carter said, things that are different are not the same.
我不知道这个人是怎么样能够侍奉主圣餐，因为有两个元素，一个饼，一个血，两样截然不同。
¿Cómo es que el dar comunión de la cena del Señor? Cosas que son diferentes, no son igual.
Is this an important point?
这是不是很重要一点呢？
¿Es algo importante?
I think it is.
我认为是。
Yo creo que sí.
And I, for one, am never going to let it go as long as I am alive.
只要我还活着，永远不会放弃这个话题。
No lo voy a dejar quieto mientras que esté vivo.
Now, some of you may know who that man is. It doesn't make any difference, but there's a lot of them now.
现在有很多人这样的讲这样话了，所以有很多人不知道
Algunos
这个名
quizás
字
saben
无所谓。
quién es. Hay muchos.
He knows what I say, and he knows what I teach.
他知道我所讲的什么。
Él sabe que digo y enseño.
I was very pleased that he sent me a large study Bible with his name on it.
我很高兴，他送了一本，寄了一本这个很大的一本书，用他的自己签名。
Estaba contento que mandó un estudio bíblico grande con el nombre de él.
For my 60th anniversary in the ministry.
就是我传道60周年，
Para mi aniversario 60 en el ministerio.
And I wrote a note back to him.
我回了一封信给他。
Escribí una
And
nota.
I said, I deeply appreciate you thinking about me and sending me that study Bible.
我感谢你把这个研读圣经寄给我，用亲自签名。
Di gracias por pensar de mí y mandarme ese estudio
Please
bíblico.
understand that I do not hate you.
请你记住，我不恨你，
Por favor entiende que no te odio.
Not at all.
根本没有。
No.
I use your study Bible quite often in preparing sermons.
我准备宣道时常常用你写的信，
Uso su Biblia de estudio preparando sermones.
But I disagree with you on the blood of Jesus.
但我不同意你对主耶稣宝血的看法。
Pero estoy en desacuerdo contigo de la sangre de
And
Jesús.
I will continue to correct you on that as long as I live, although I don't hate you at all.
只要我还活着，一路要更改这个错误。虽然我不憎恨你本人，
Voy a continuar corriendo de eso mientras que viva, aunque no te odie.
If I had told that girl last Sunday night that there was no blood of Christ or that the blood of Christ was the same, a metonym for the death, she would be lost tonight instead of saved and sitting here.
如果上礼拜天晚上我告诉那个女孩子说，基督的宝血无法清洗你的罪恶，她的宝血只握着死亡的代名词的话，这个女孩子不会得救。
Si le hubiera dicho a esa muchacha de que la sangre de el cuerpo es igual, no estaría salvo esta noche.
This may not seem too important to a pastor that's pastoring out in the heartland.
要知道，在美国中部地方，他们做牧师的可能不重要，
Quizás no parece importante un predicador en el medio del país.
But here in the inner city of Los Angeles, I have to preach the blood of Christ. There's no option.
但在洛杉矶这样的一个邪恶的城市中呢，必须要讲宝血，毫无其他选择。
Pero acá en la ciudad central tengo que predicar la sangre de Jesús. No hay opción.
See, if I'd have told that girl last Sunday night, Christ's blood does not cleanse you from sin, she would be lost tonight.
如果我上礼拜天晚上告诉这个女孩子，这宝血洗不净你的罪的话，她仍然是迷途的。
Si yo le hubiera dicho de que la sangre de Jesús no limpia el pecado, ella no estaría acá esta
Young
noche.
people today don't think like people used to think.
现在的年轻人思维跟过去的年轻人根本不同。
Los jóvenes hoy no piensan como los que antes.
If I tell them that Christ died for their sins, they can't wrap their mind around that.
如果我告诉他们耶稣为他们罪死的话，他们根本无法理解。
Si le digo de que Jesús murió por los pecados, no lo entienden.
Most young people want something more.
很多年轻人需要得到更多的，
Los jóvenes hoy quieren algo más.
And so the devil comes to them and tells them they need a feeling of assurance.
所以
A feeling.
鬼魔告他们要有感受，感受。
Diablo viene y le dice que tienen que sentir seguridad.
And they grab onto a feeling as something more and stay lost.
结果他们仍然抓牢自己内心的感受，一直迷途的。
Agarran ese sentir y se quedan perdidos.
But if I tell them about Christ's blood, it satisfies many of them.
但如果告诉他们宝血的话，他们就能得到满足。
Pero si les digo la sangre de Jesús, da satisfecho muchos.
They don't need a feeling. They trust Jesus and are saved.
他们不需要这感受，他们也相信了耶稣就得救。
No tienen que sentir, confían en Jesús.
And that's why in this inner city, I must preach both elements in the Lord's Supper.
所以在我们的城市里，必须要宣讲这个主圣餐的两个元素。
Por eso en esta ciudad central tengo que predicar los dos elementos
The
de la
death of
sangre.
Christ's body and the blood of Christ, both.
基督的肉体的死亡，而且他的宝血洒
El
下。
cuerpo y la sangre de Jesús.
I think it needs to be preached everywhere,
我可以去任何
not
地
just
方。
in the inner city. First, lost people are saved by faith in Christ's blood.
第一，迷途者对耶稣基督宝血的信心使他们得救。
Primero, personas perdidas son salvos por fe en la sangre de Jesús.
In the 3rd chapter of Romans, we read, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus.
在罗马书3章里面这样读：如今却蒙神的恩典，因耶稣基督的救赎，就白白的称义，靠到血称义。
Siendo justificado gratuitamente por su gracia mediante la redención que en Cristo Jesús.
Whom God has set forth to be a propitiation through faith in his blood. Through faith in his blood. Romans 3:25.
神设立耶稣做挽回祭，是凭着耶稣的血，借着人的信。
Porque Dios puso como propiciación por medio de la fe en su sangre. Romanos 3.
Propitiation means a place of mercy.
要叫挽回祭，就是施慈悲的地方。
Propiciación es un lugar de misericordia.
And so we have mercy through Christ, through faith in his blood.
就是通过耶稣的血，凭着人的信，在他的中间得到怜悯。
Tenemos misericordia a través de fe en su sangre.
And as he stands in victory, sin's curse has lost its grip on me. I've lost a tune. For I am his and he is mine, bought with the precious blood of Christ. Those two young men that wrote in Christ alone, Keith Getty and Stuart Townsend, are very fine theologians.
一个 Keith Getty 还有 Stuart Townsend 他们写了一首圣诗，最后的结束这么讲到说：征服死亡，他已得胜，罪已失去对我的掌控，他是我的主，我属基督，靠他的宝血永远站立。
Y en él en victoria de ahí la maldición perdió de su aguante sobre mí.
And it is a sign of the times that the Presbyterian denomination to which they belong excised that song from the hymn book. It was probably the best hymn in the book.
他们整首圣诗，在这些他们的支派中间，把这首歌去除掉或者切除掉。
Aunque el Señor era mejor en el himnario, los presbiterianos lo quitaron.
He stands in victory. Since curse has lost its grip on me, for I am his and he is mine, bought with the precious blood of Christ.
Thank you. But how can that be if there's no blood?
但如果没有宝血存在，这怎么可能？
¿Cómo puede ser si no hay sangre?
If there is no blood, how can that be?
如果没有宝血存在，这是不可能的。
Si no hay sangre, ¿cómo puede ser?
Thank God the blood of Jesus is still available.
感谢神，耶稣基督的宝血现在仍然能被我们得到。
Gracias a Dios que la sangre de Jesús todavía está hoy.
They say Dr. Andrew Murray was a devotional writer.
他们讲的是安多勒穆雷呢，就是一个做一个研读圣经那么一个人。
Dicen que Andrew Murray escribía devocional.
Seems to me that he was a pretty fine theological writer too.
我看他是个很深的一个神学理论的一个作者。
Parece que escribía de teología bien buena también.
And Dr. Murray pointed out where the blood of Jesus is today.
穆雷博士指出了如今宝血在何处。
Él dijo dónde está la sangre de Jesús hoy.
In the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, 22 and 24, we're given a long list of things that are in heaven, that exist in heaven.
希伯来书12章22到24节中列举了天国中很多物体。
En Hebreos 12, de 22, 24, vemos lo que está en el cielo.
And Hebrews 12, 22 to 24 tells us that one of the things in heaven is the blood of sprinkling of the Lord Jesus Christ.
而其中告诉我们，其中之一呢，这个物品之一就是所洒的血，耶稣基督的宝血。
Dos dice una cosa que está en el cielo, la sangre rociada de Jesús.
I would never be ashamed to stand alongside Dr. Andrew Murray.
我永远无会就是站在了穆雷博士旁边来这样。
Nunca tendría vergüenza estar con el Murray.
He said, in heaven, where God the judge of all is, and where Jesus the mediator of the new covenant is.
也就是在天上也有审判众人的神所在，也就是新约的中保耶稣所在。
Dejo la sangre de Jesús está en el cielo donde el pacto de mediación está.
There also is the blood of sprinkling of Jesus. Amen.
还有所洒的血，耶稣基督宝血。
Hay también la sangre rociada de Jesús.
So they could monkey around and show us something and Greekify it and this and that. But the Bible plainly tells us in Hebrews 12, 23 and 24 that the blood of Jesus is in heaven. I don't need anything else. One man said to me, well, can you find another place? I said, I don't need to. Do I need another place where it says John 3:16? It says John 3:16 in John 3:16. That's enough for me. It ought to be enough for you. It says that the blood of Jesus is in heaven in Hebrews chapter 12. If it just said it once, that's enough for me.
在希伯来书
It's
12
in the
章，
Bible.
23、24节里面讲到了耶稣的宝血在上天，这就足够了，无需圣经在另一地方提及。
Yesus Presidente kada in Hebreo 12, Juan 36, tanging lugar, Yesus Presidente también.
The blood of Jesus is in heaven. You can count on it.
耶稣基督的宝血就在上天，你可以靠得住。
La sangre de Jesús se está en el cielo.
They say, well, that's a new doctrine taught by M.R. DeHaan.
要知道那是安尔迪汉讲那个新的教义。
Alguien dice doctrina nueva por Dehan.
Peel back about 15 centuries and listen to the great preacher John Chrysostom.
再回过去15世纪之前，圣经口若望怎么讲？我们
Regresa atrás 1500 años de escucha Christensen.
That great and powerful preacher of the ancient church said the same thing.
传统教会这个古典这个作家也这样讲。
Ese gran predicador de iglesia antigua dijo lo mismo.
Chrysostom said his blood was borne up into heaven.
圣经口若望这样讲，他的宝血被带到了天上。
Dijo la sangre fue llevada al cielo.
I'm quoting him from the homilies on Hebrews, page 517. He said, his blood was borne up into heaven. Thou seest then that we partake of blood which has been carried into the holy place, the true holy place in heaven, unquote. That's 1,500 years old, amen.
你们看，在1500年前，他这样讲到，我们所共享、所带到圣所的，在天上的真正的圣所里面的宝血所在之处。
Tenemos la sangre de Jesús cargado en lugar santo en el cielo, dijo Christensen 1500 años.
Now this is the one that really upsets them.
这就是下面这个引句让他们非常
Y
生
esta
气。
verdad los
One
hace
man
enojar.
said Calvin didn't say that,
有很多人讲是加文，没有讲说加文，
Dicen Calvino dijo eso,
but he did.
但确实讲。
pero sí.
In his commentary on Hebrews, page 235.
加尔文这样注解了这个希伯来书。
En Hebreos 2:35 de
The great reformer John Calvin said it as well. The blood of Christ, which is subject to no corruption, is sufficient for us even to the end of the world, because the blood of Christ is always distilling before the presence of the Father in heaven.
伟大
Unquote.
的宗教改革家约翰
John
加
Calvin.
约翰加尔
They
文这
say
样
they
讲。
like him, but they didn't like him too well when he said that. I like him just the same.
约翰加尔文这样讲说：基督的宝血，不朽的宝血，有足够我们用了，甚至到世界的末了，因为基督的宝血在不朽的面前是永远不变的。
La sangre de Jesús no hay corrupción, es suficiente hasta el fin del mundo, dijo Calvin.
Or take the 17th century commentator Matthew Poole.
或者听一听17世纪的马太普尔这样讲，
O toma del siglo XVII Matthew Poole,
Great Puritan commentator.
清教徒这个注解家。
gran puritano.
Matthew Poole said, quote, he entered once into the holy place with his blood.
马太普尔这样指出，他一次进入了圣所，带着自己的宝血。
Entró una vez solamente con su sangre.
He entered immediately upon the breathing out of his soul on the cross into the Holy of Holies in heaven with his blood.
在
Amen.
石架上断气之后，立刻进入了圣所之内，带着自己的宝血。
Entró de los santos en el cielo inmediatamente con su sangre.
Now, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I know that Spurgeon was the greatest Baptist preacher of all time.
我不知道别人怎么讲，但斯布真是最伟大的浸信派宣教士。
Yo sé de que Spurgeon es el mejor predicador bautista de todo el tiempo.
And I could quote paragraph after paragraph after paragraph after paragraph after endless paragraph from Spurgeon.
我可以一段接一段讲这个引用斯布真讲的很多段的言语，谈到宝血。
Puedo citarse a mucho de Spurgeon.
They will say, oh, Spurgeon was a great preacher.
他们说斯布真是伟大的宣教士，
Dicen Spurgeon era gran predicador.
Why don't they take what he says about the blood?
但为什么不听他说的有关宝血的话呢？
¿Por qué no ven lo que dice de la sangre?
Spurgeon said, when we go into heaven itself, we shall not be beyond the blood of sprinkling.
所以，当我们进入天国的时候，斯布真这样讲，我们不会离开宝血所洒的地方。
Cuando entremos en el cielo, dijo Spurgeon, no pasaremos de la sangre de...
Nay, we shall see it there more truly present than any other place.
但愿我们更多的能见到这样的地点。
La veremos ahí más presente que en cualquier otro lugar.
Still quoting Spurgeon. What you say? What you say? The blood of Jesus in heaven?
天上有耶稣的宝血吗？
¿Qué dice tú la sangre de Jesús en el cielo?
Yes!
不错。
Sí.
Let those who talk lightly of the precious blood correct their view, ere they be guilty of blasphemy.
让那些在言语上贬低耶稣宝血人更改他们错误的概念，不然他们就犯了这个亵渎之罪。
Eso cambia ligeramente de la sangre, corrígense porque si no blasfeman.
For there is nothing worth thinking or preaching about but this grand theme. The blood of Christ is the life of the gospel.
除了这一主题之外，再没有什么值得我们再去思考或宣讲的了。基督宝血是福音的生命。
Entonces, que merece la sociedad tema, la sangre del evangelio.
I could quote the Schofield Study Bible, which is entirely correct on this.
我完全可以引用斯可夫研读圣经的注解，也可以这样讲。
Puedo citar la Biblia de Scofield de que está correcto de esto.
But you see, a lot of these boys that downgrade the blood are rebelling against the Schofield Bible, so I won't quote it.
所以，但很多人他们反叛了，确实反叛这个斯可夫的注解。
Pero muchos de estos de que están rebeldes contra la sangre están rebeldes contra Scofield.
But I will quote Dr. J. Vernon McGee.
但我会引用麦基博士一句话。
En vez citaré de J. Vernon McGee.
Dr. McGee is the most famous Bible teacher in the world. His Bible studies go out in over 130 languages every day.
他是世界上最知名的一个收音机或上网站上面的一个网线上面的一个讲解家。
McGee es el más famoso profesor bíblico del mundo.
And Dr. McGee said, quote, his blood is even now in heaven.
麦基博士指出，他宝血如今在上天，
Dejo la sangre de aún ahora está en el cielo.
And throughout endless ages.
并永远存在。
A través de
It
edades.
will be there to remind us of the awful price that Christ paid.
血会在那么提醒我们，基督为赎回我们付出的沉重代价。
Estará ahí recordando el precio horrible que pagó Jesús.
Unquote.
引句结束。
Fin de cita.
So, all of the great preachers across the ages,
所以这么多世代以来，很多知名宣道士都这样讲，
Todos los grandes predicadores de las edades.
all of the great evangelical theologians,
还有一切福音派的一个伟大的理论家，
Todos los grandes evangélicos.
whether Calvinistic or Wesleyan,
或者是卫斯理，或者是加文派，
Calvinistas de Wesley.
preached that the blood was in heaven.
讲到了宝血在上天。
Predicando que la sangre estaba en el cielo.
Now, for a young man to come along today and say they were all wrong,
结果有那么一位年轻人说他们都错了，
Para que un joven venga y diga que estaban equivocados.
I don't believe him.
我不会信他。
No lo creo.
How could every theologian and every commentator throughout the ages be wrong and only him right? That smells wrong to me, and it is wrong.
历史上这么多知名的理论家都错了，仅仅他对吗？这根本不可能接受。
De que un nuevo diga que está correcto, el texto es equivocado en las edades. No, el nuevo está equivocado.
Dr. Hymers, why are you preaching this to us tonight?
海博士今天晚上为什么讲这个题材？
Doctor Hymers, ¿por qué no predica esto esta noche?
Now I'll tell you why.
我要告诉你了。
Te quiero decir por qué.
Second, the blood of Christ overcomes Satan and demons.
第二点，我讲基督的宝血胜过了撒旦和他的鬼魔。
Dos, la sangre de Jesús vence a Satanás y los demonios.
And no dry as dust, bloodless religion does that.
而没有任何其他的无血的宗教会这样讲。
Ninguna religión seca sin sangre lo hace.
The Bible tells us that Christians in the Great Tribulation will overcome Satan by the blood of the Lamb. Revelation 12:11.
圣经告诉我们说，基督徒在大患难期间将靠羔羊的血胜过撒旦。
La Biblia nos dice que los cristianos en la gran tribulación vencerán con la sangre del Cordero.
And when I am preaching to young people today, I know that many of them, even from Christians' homes, have committed sins we never heard of back in the 1940s and 50s.
当我们如今向年轻人宣道的时候，很多来自的一些基督教家庭的年轻人都犯下了一个错误，就40-50年代没有犯过的错。
Predicando yo sé de que aún las de casa cristiana han hecho pecados que no se había escuchado antes.
Many of them have smoked marijuana
很多吸过大麻，
Muchos han fumado marihuana,
and taken other drugs.
用过其他毒品，
tomado otras drogas.
Most of them, the majority of them, have had sex.
很多人中间都有过了性关系
La，mayoría tuvo sexo.
Nearly all of them have looked at pornography.
几乎全部都看过了这个性
Casi
色
todos
情。
mirando pornografía.
And many young people today have committed sins too horrible to even mention.
很多人犯的错误都根本无法启齿，
Muchos hoy en día han hecho pecados tan horribles que no se puede mencionar.
And then they come to us.
然后来到我们教会，
Vienen a nosotros.
And it's obvious that many of them are demonized.
很清楚他们被鬼魔附身。
Es claro de que están endemoniados.
If they took LSD, they are demon possessed.
一旦他们吸食了迷幻药，他们就已经被魔鬼附身了。
Si tomaron LSD, sí son poseídos.
Yes, I was 24 years in a Chinese church, but I spent 3 years in San Francisco and started a church with the hippies there.
虽然我在环教里面24
Still
年，
going, by the way.
但是呢，我告诉你们，去三藩市那边才那么几年的吸毒的年轻人。
Pasé 24 años con los chinos, pero empecé una iglesia en San Francisco con los hippies.
And that is when I encountered for the first time young men and women who had taken LSD.
那时候第一次听到了年轻男女吸食这个 LSD 换迷
Esa
幻
fue la
药。
primera vez de que vi jóvenes que habían tomado
Now,
LSD.
maybe if you live out there in the heartland,
有可能你生活在美国中部，
Quizás si vives en el medio del país,
the Midwest or the South, you've never met young people that took LSD, but I think there's a lot of them there too.
或者中西部等等美国。
quizás no he encontrado tales, pero creo que hay muchos ahí.
But I have never met one young person who took LSD that wasn't demonized.
但我还没有见过一个年轻人，他们吸过这个迷幻药，却没有被魔鬼附身的，
Nunca he visto uno de que tomado LSD de que no eran demoniados.
It is a horrible thing.
可怕的经历。
Cosa horrible.
The things they see, the things they experience, the horror of it all.
他们见到的东西、经历过的东西非常可怕。
Lo que ven, lo que sienten, el horror.
Anybody here took LSD? Let me see your hand.
有没有这个吸过
Even once, let
LSD？
me see
有那么一个迷幻药吸过
There，he is. Yeah.
有一没有？
There's one on the platform too, but I won't mention him.
上面还有一个我不知道。
Hay uno allá.
Is what I say wrong, Aaron?
他
He says, no, it's right.
做见证说绝对正确。
Lo que has hecho, lo que dije está correcto, dijo que sí.
Now, how are we going to help young people like that?
我们如何能
This
帮
is
助
a？fine man, by the way,
顺便讲，这位年轻人非常优秀的年轻人，
¿Cómo vamos a ayudarlos a la gente?
as is the man on the platform.
就像这个讲台上这位年轻人一样优秀。
Buena persona como ese y del otro.
People say, why I like those young people. They are so upstanding Christians and Republicans too.
他们是这样的优秀的基督徒，而且是共和党人。
Dice, me caen también, son buenos gente y republicanos también.
I never tell them to be Republicans. I'm not a Republican.
我没有告诉他们是没有共和党，
Yo no
我
soy
出
republicano,
But that's where they go.
但是他们去的。
pero ahí van.
And people say, oh, those young people in your church are so wonderful and nice.
有很多讲说你们教会里面年轻人非常优秀，
Dice, la gente en tu iglesia tan buenos y
So
amables,
upstanding and clean cut.
堂堂一表，这样个个都很优秀。
tan buenos
They
sobresalientes.
wear beautiful suits and ties on Sunday.
礼拜天穿着这么整齐，
Saco y corbata tan bellos de
And
domingo.
I've had more than one preacher say to me, where'd you get them, Hymers?
这些人都从何处而来呢？
Más de uno me han dicho, ¿dónde lo conseguiste, Hymers?
Where'd you get such nice young people?
这么些优秀年轻人都从何而来？
¿Dónde lo conseguiste?
We got them out of the sewer. That's where we got them.
从城市的垃圾堆里面捡出来的，
Lo cogimos
We got them out of broken homes. That's where we got them.
破碎的家庭里面走出来的，
de casas quebrantadas.
We got them out of drugs and sex and weirdness and perversion. That's where we got them.
从这色情毒品中间走出来的年轻人，
Los sacamos de drogas, sexo, perversión.
And we built a church out of them
由此建立了一个教会，
Hacemos iglesia con
in the
ellos.
inner city.
城市中间的教会。
En la ciudad
Could you
central.
do that?
你能这样做吗？
Podemos hacer eso.
Not unless you dealt with the demons. Not unless you dealt with the demons.
除非-
Not without dealing with the demons.
除非你跟鬼魔打过交道。
Solamente no puede ser si se trata de a los demonios.
And we had kids come to us. I never did cast a demon out when I was in the Chinese church. Never did.
我在环教里面从来没有赶过鬼，
Nunca eché demonio fuera de la iglesia china.
Didn't need to. It was back in the 1960s in the Jesus movement. Hundreds of young Chinese kids poured into that church.
在这个
Literally hundreds. It went from 75 people up to over 2,000.
60年、70年有几百或上千个年轻人进入了那个华人教会。
En los 60 de esa iglesia china creció desde 65 a 2000.
And I had the privilege of leading many of those Chinese kids to Christ. But I never had to cast a demon out.
而且我有这么一个机缘呢，要引导很多年轻人信了主。
Y hay muchos de ellos de Jesús, pero nunca eché demonio fuera.
You know why?
为什么？
¿Sabes por qué?
Chinese kids back in the 60s weren't like they are today.
60年代年轻人华人根本不跟现在不同。
Los muchachos de chinos de los 60 no eran como hoy.
There wasn't one of them that came from a broken, divorced home.
其中没有一个是来自这个破碎家庭的，
Ninguno de ellos de casas divorciadas de
I
quebrantadas.
still have to sit down once in a while.
是他牧师这个
I,
体力。
I used to have to do it every time, but I'll sit down just for a minute.
仍然是有所不
100
知。
puro minuto.
Never met a Chinese kid that needed to have a demon cast out. Never did.
没有一位华人男孩子需要这
Back in the
样。
60s.
60年代，
En los 60 nunca vi un chino que tenía que quitar los
But
demonios.
now we come down to the 21st century.
现在到了21世纪。
Para el siglo XXI.
But I went up to San Francisco to go to seminary in that liberal seminary.
当时我去的北加州这么自由派的神学院里边，
Fui a San Francisco en ese seminario liberal.
And the Jesus people came in.
结果那些耶稣运动这个年轻人进来，
Y vino la gente de Jesús.
Oh my. Oh my.
真可怕。
¿Qué cosa?
Every one of them came from a divorced family.
人人都是来自破碎的家庭，
Cada uno de una casa divorciada.
Every one of them came from heavy drugs.
人人都吸过毒，
Cada uno de drogas.
Nearly every one of them came from some kind of sexual perversion.
人人几乎都有过这样的崎岖或者变态的一个性关系。
Casi cada uno de ellos de perversión sexual.
It liked to have driven me up the wall because I was used to nice Chinese kids.
因为我习惯于那个非常堂堂正正的那个干净的年轻人，
Me hizo casi loco porque yo estaba acostumbrado a chinos amables.
There'd be the midnight call
结果会有午夜的这个电话，
La llamada de medianoche.
every Saturday night. Right around midnight, there'd be a call. Somebody broke into this. Somebody stole that. Somebody broke the windows out of the car. Somebody stole this. Somebody had sex here. Somebody took drugs. They're laying on the sidewalk.
结
Every Saturday night between 12 and 1 o'clock, I got the Saturday night special.
就是礼拜六晚上，午夜12点到凌晨1点，总会有个电话说某某人做了这事，做那事，打烂了玻璃，或者是跟这个女孩就乱跑了。
Cada sábado por la noche, como a medianoche, de alguien diciendo de que hizo algo mal, sexo, drogas, o lo que sea, de algo mal.
So I talked to my pastor.
结果我找了牧师谈话，
Hablé a mi pastor.
Now, Dr. Timothy Lynn wasn't just an ordinary Baptist pastor.
林道亮博士并非一个简单的一个浸信会牧师，
Dr. Timothy Lynn no era de ordinario pastor bautista.
You can see that when I tell you what he did. He taught Semitic languages, including hieroglyphics on the tombs. He could read those. He taught that stuff. Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, everything. Syriac, Peshitic, Syriac, and so on in Bob Jones University's graduate department.
他在 Bob Jones 这个研究生院里面教过这样的闪韩语，而且是包括这个希伯来语等等。
Dr. Lynn enseñó de idiomas semíticas en Bob Jones.
Where he taught historical theology and systematic theology as well.
而且教了系统神学，而且历史神学。
Enseñó sistemática teología también.
After he came to our church, he also taught Semitic languages at the Talbot School of Theology.
同时来到这个南加州之后，他也在这个 Talbot 神学院里面教书。
Después que vino a la iglesia también enseñó en Talbot.
At Trinity Evangelical Seminary in Deerfield, Illinois.
在伊利诺州里面这个3一神学院里面又教书。
Y también en el seminario de Trinity en Illinois.
He was one of the translators of the Old Testament of the New American Standard Bible.
新美国标准版本的旧约部分就是他的翻译者之一。
Uno traductor del Viejo Testamento de Nueva Versión.
And he ended his career as the president of China Evangelical Seminary in Taipei, Taiwan.
结果他整个的这个人生结束的最后一个职任，去到台湾台北市呢，任这个神学院院长。
Y terminó como presidente del seminario de Taipei, Taiwan.
And he was the best that I've ever seen in church planting. I've never seen anybody that way. He planted 5 churches, Chinese churches, in the Los Angeles area, all of which continue to exist, with each one with over 150 members. And they've sent out, I don't know, maybe 20 churches now have come out of that church that he pastored.
所以从他的教会里面分出了5间这个分校分会，现在仍然在存在。
20 iglesias empezaron de esa iglesia que él pastoreó.
Now I'm telling you that because I didn't ask a lightweight. I asked somebody that could be the president of a seminary anywhere in the world.
所以我问的这个牧师呢，他可以做任何世界各地的任何神学院里面做院长。
No le pregunté a alguien que podía ser presidente de seminario en cualquier parte del mundo.
And I said to him, you've never heard this. I've never told it. I said to him, Dr. Lin, what do I do with all these kids that are into drugs, into sex, into such awful weirdness?
结果我就问领导人牧师，我怎么样对待这么这样吸过毒的一个年轻人呢？
Dr. Lin kaya kung todos jóvenes que están en sexo, drogas y todas cosas horribles.
And Dr. Lin said to me, Bob, you have to cast out the demon.
结果领导人告诉我要把他们身上的鬼赶走。
Me dijo, Bob, tiene que quitar fuera el demonio.
I said, I can't do that. I'm a Baptist preacher.
我是个浸信会的牧师，我怎么这样做呢？
No puedo hacer eso, soy bautista predicador.
And he said something I'll never forget.
结果他说了一句话，我永远不会
Dijo
忘记。
algo que no se me olvidará.
He said, in China, he didn't leave China till he was over 40 years old. In China, if a Baptist preacher cannot cast out the demon, no one will come to hear him preach.
结果他说了一句话，就是在中国大陆头，如果你要是不会赶鬼的话，没有人会来听你讲道。
En China, si predica el bautista, no puede quitar el demonio, nadie viene a escucharlo predicar.
Well, the kids tell me all the time, young people tell me, he tells me this. I'm probably the only white man that was ever trained by a Chinese pastor.
结果大家
All of my training is from him.
告诉
I
我，
didn't learn anything in that liberal seminary. So I cast out a demon.
结果我就开始去赶鬼了，就受林道亮的训练。
Yo aprendí nada en ese seminario liberal, aprendí todo de ese pastor chino que soy blanco y quité fuera los demonios.
Oh boy, you guys have got, you preachers out there got something to say about Hymers now. I am not a charismatic and I am not a Pentecostal.
我并不是灵音派，或者是这个其他的一个那些派别的五旬节教派的一个牧师。
No soy carismático, no soy pentecostés.
I do not speak in tongues.
我不会讲方言。
No hablo en lenguas.
Most of the charismatic movement leaves me cold.
大部分灵音派那些人让我非常心冷。
No me gusta la mayoría de los carismáticos.
Benny Hinn,
班尼逊之类的
Benny Hinn,
Catherine Kuhlman.
那些之类的人。
Catherine Kuhlman.
I was sitting one night in Dr. Lin's living room watching something on television.
有一天晚上坐在林道亮家里面看一个电视，
Una noche estaba en la sala con Dr. Lin mirando algo en la televisión.
And Catherine Kuhlman came on.
结果 Catherine Kuhlman 上电视，
Y vino Catherine Kuhlman.
I said to my pastor, Dr. Lin, come here a second, listen to this woman.
Sí.
She was talking, I'm so glad to see you tonight.
结果 Catherine Kuhlman 这样，我很高兴见到你。
Dijo, estoy tan contenta de verte esta noche.
Dr. Lin looked at her and said, seems like demon possessed.
结果林道亮一眼看出这个人有鬼在身上。
Indeed, she died from alcoholism.
结果后来因为酗酒而死。
Dr. Lin la miró y dijo, poseída por demonios.
So I cast out a demon
结果我从他们身上赶鬼了。
Eché fuera del demonio.
in San Francisco during the Jesus movement.
在三藩市地区，
San Francisco durante el movimiento de Jesús.
I was able to build a church there.
结果在那么建了一个教会。
Pude ser iglesia ahí.
Most pastors couldn't do it.
大部分牧师办不到这点。
La mayoría de pastores no pudieron.
One of the reasons is because they never deal with Satan and the demonic as though it's real. It is real.
因为他们从来没有把鬼魔和邪灵的事情当真来对待。
Una razón es de que nunca tratan a Satanás como que si fuera real. Es
And
real.
young people are given the impression in most of our Baptist Sunday schools that the Bible is all a mythology, like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table or something like that, or Harry Potter.
大部分年轻人总以为圣经里面描述故事就是一个传说而已，就像哈利波特的一样。
Yo sé de que muchos piensan de que es mitología, pero no es.
This Bible is not mythology.
这本书并不是传说，
Esta Biblia no es mitología.
This Bible is God's truth from cover to cover, word for word in the Greek and Hebrew.
这本书就是神的真道，从头至尾没有一句谎话。
Esta Biblia es la palabra de Dios, griego en hebreo, palabra por palabra.
Now, I am not a charismatic, but I must tell you that America has become a mission field.
我告诉你，我并非一个灵音派，但是我告诉美国成为一个
If you think, preacher, if you think you're going to keep on doing a nice Baptist church without ever dealing with something like real prayer, real fasting, casting a demon out, you are wrong. Everything that was tied down done come loose, as Mark.
美国人，我告诉你们，如果没有真正与魔鬼打交道，没有真正的禁食祷告的话，这个教会不会建成。
América hoy en día de campo misionero por causa de que todo que estaba amarrado se ha soltado.
I was watching a little TV yesterday,
昨天我看电
trying
视
to，relax a
Mirando
little,
televisión ayer,
and they bumped John McCain's funeral, and put on Aretha Franklin's funeral for 3.5 hours.
结果他们把这个约翰麦肯恩的这个葬礼呢推开了，让那个Aretha那个另一个女士黑人女士。
No pusieron el funeral de John McCain en vez de Aretha Franklin por 3 horas.
And I'm so glad they did.
很高兴他们这样做了。
Estoy contento que lo hicieron.
There was a little bit of truth in Aretha Franklin's funeral. There was no truth at all in John McCain's funeral.
在
None.
Aretha Franklin 他这个葬礼上面还真是有点是实
Man was
话。
a patriot. He was a traitor. Traitor to his party.
Right.
Traitor to his wife. Traitor to everybody.
真的很
Tell him I said that. I don't like John McCain.
我不喜欢麦肯
And
恩，
if you do, I have an argument with you.
Poca la verdad con la funeral de Aretha Franklin y a todos me cuidaron con el de McCain, no me cayó.
Amen. We voted for him. I voted for him twice for president.
我选举了投了他票2次，
Voté por él 2 veces como
And he
presidente.
couldn't go 10 feet without betraying the Christianity, Protestantism, the evangelical churches. Badmouthed them, and then he said, "No, they didn't vote for me." Well, you don't vote for somebody that you badmouth. You badmouthed Bob Jones University, you badmouthed Liberty University, badmouthed the Southern Baptists, and then he expected them to vote for him. I'll tell you one thing, I don't like President Trump very well, but he's smart enough not to badmouth those he needs to vote for him. A lot smarter than John McCain.
虽然约翰麦肯恩我投了他的票，但是一转头他们就讲基督教，讲这Bob Jones大学的坏话，根本最终得不到票，不得不了选票，完全是活该。
John McCain criticó de Bob Jones, Liberty University, los Unidos Bautistas, y entonces se quejó de que no votaron por él. Trump por lo menos no hace
I
eso.
was afraid I was going to do this. I'm preaching too long. I know that, well, anyway, the demon powers come and torment them at night.
结果鬼魔的力量在夜间的时候会来真正折磨那些年轻人。
Poder del demonio venir a tormenta en la noche.
I learned the secret of full deliverance from my Chinese pastor.
我从华人牧师那里面学到如何赶鬼。
Aprendí el secreto de liberancia de mi pastor chino.
The secret is in Revelation chapter 12.
秘密就在启示录12章里。
El secreto está en Apocalipsis 12.
It's on page 1341 of the Schofield Study Bible.
启示录就是圣经最后一本书12章，
Apocalipsis 12.
Please stand as I read it.
请大家一同站起来。
Apocalipsis 12.
It's Revelation chapter 12, beginning with verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
启示录12章第7节这样读起，就是在天上有场征战，米迦勒和他的使者与龙征战。
12:7 después hubo una gran batalla en el cielo. Miguel y sus ángeles lucharon con el dragón y luchaban con el dragón y sus ángeles.
And the dragon fought with his angels.
龙也同他的使者去征战，
Luchaba el dragón con sus
And
ángeles.
prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
并没有得胜，天上没有他们存在的地方。
No prevalecieron ni salió en ellos lugar en el cielo.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan.
大龙就是那古蛇，名叫魔鬼，又叫撒旦，被迷惑普天下，被摔到了地上。
Fue lanzado afuera el gran dragón, la serpiente antigua,
Which deceiveth the whole world.
他欺骗了迷惑普天下，
que se llama el diablo de Satanás, el cual engaña el mundo entero.
He was cast out into the earth,
他被摔到地上，
Fue arrojado a la tierra.
and his angels were cast out with him.
他的使者也一同被摔下去。
Y sus ángeles fueron arrojados con él.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven,
我听到天上大声音，
Entonces una gran voz en el cielo.
Now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ.
说我神的救恩、能力、国度并权柄，并他基督的权柄。
Que decía, ahora ha venido la salvación, el poder, el reino de nuestro Dios, de la autoridad de Cristo.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down,
现在都已经来到了，因为我们弟兄在神面前昼夜控告我们的，已经被摔下去了。
Porque ha sido lanzado fuera del acusador de nuestros hermanos.
which accused them before God day and night.
也就是在神面前日夜诅咒他们，
Now
或者
underline this. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
结果弟兄胜过他，
Yeah,
靠羔羊的血。
El cual los acusa delante de nuestro Dios día y noche y los vencieron, y ellos vencieron por medio de la sangre del
And by the
cordero.
word of their testimony, they loved not their lives unto death.
和
Amen.
自己所见证的道，
Por
他
la
们
palabra de
虽
su testimonio, ellos no
The
menospreciaron su
main
vida
way
por
they
la muerte.
overcame him was by the blood of Christ.
他们靠宝血征服了。
Los vencieron por la sangre de Jesús.
Now look, when you get saved, or the tribulation saints will be tormented by the demonic, but they'll overcome him by the blood of the Lamb.
大灾难期间呢，他们受到了鬼魔的压迫，但最终得胜就是靠羔羊的血。
Durante la tribulación lo vencerán por la sangre.
How's that?
这怎么办？
¿Cómo es eso?
He's called the accuser of our brethren.
他被称作我们弟兄的控告者。
Es el que acusa a los hermanos.
He comes at night and he accuses.
撒旦半夜的来会指责你我。
Viene noche de acusa.
Those young people that have been into perversion, been into weird sex, that have taken LSD, God only knows what. He comes back and he gives them a flashback, a dream about that. And they wake up and say, I can't be a Christian. How could I be a Christian?
结果那个鬼魔在半夜的时候，让他们想起自己行过的、做过的一些邪恶的事情，说我做不了基督徒，办不到。
Nos hace pensar de que tienen una pesadilla o algo y piensan cómo puedo ser cristiano.
You get hold of the blood of Christ, and you've got a weapon. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty to the pulling down of strongholds.
可是，一旦你抓住了、有了耶稣的宝血，你可得胜。
Agarra Jesús de él es fuerte.
When you wake up all sweaty thinking about some of the awful things you've done, you stick the sword of the Spirit into the devil and you tell him, the blood of Jesus Christ, his Son, cleanses me from all sin, and then go back to sleep.
结果你醒过了以后，直接对撒旦这样讲：耶稣基督他儿子的宝血能够清洗我们一切的罪，你可以安然睡觉了。
Cuando el diablo te acusa, dile que la sangre del cordero me limpia con su sangre. Y duerme.
If you need a little something more, sing that old song. Would you be free from the burden of sin? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you or evil the victory win? There's wonderful power in the blood. Amen.
阿门。有那么一首圣歌，这样唱到：你愿脱离罪恶的重担吗？全能晒血，全能肉在宝血。
Al poder magnífico la sangre del cordero.
Amen. If you're still tormented,
如果你仍然受魔鬼的折磨，
Si todavía eres
and
tormentado,
that doesn't help, come and see me
来找我们谈一谈，
quiere ayuda, ven y háblame.
or Dr. Kagan.
找凯根博士，
O a Dr. Kagan.
You may need to have the demon cast out.
可能需要把
We
鬼
don't
赶出
do that with everybody. No. Some of them just run them through. Che on. We don't do deliverance with everybody.
并不是人人都需要赶鬼。
No hacemos liberancia con todos.
Listen to the song Mr. Griffith sang a moment ago. The words are by Oswald Smith, great preacher in Canada. The music composed by Dr. Homer Rodeheaver, great song leader for Billy Sunday.
刚才他们唱那首圣诗的言辞是这样的：
Escucha el canto de Oswald J. Smith.
George Beverly Shea sang it many times before Billy Graham preached on Satan and demons.
在葛培理宣道之前谈到魔鬼的时候，总是唱这首歌。
Y la música de Rhoda Heaver y a George Beverly Shea lo cantó muchas veces.
Number
antes que
3 on your
predicaba
song
Graham.
sheet. Stand up.
圣诗第3首，
Número 3 en cancionero.
One sat alone beside the highway begging. His eyes were blind, the light he could not see. He clutched his rags and shivered in the shadows. Then Jesus came and bade his darkness flee. When Jesus comes, the tempter's power is broken. When Jesus comes, the tears are wiped away. He takes the gloom and fills the life with glory, for all is changed when Jesus comes to stay.
圣诗第5首。
Todo ha cambiado cuando Jesús viene para quedar.
Love you, young people.
所以很高兴你们年轻
Te
人
amo.
听，
I have an appointment with 4 of you up in my office. Come and see me.
所以你们4位年轻人在我办公室里有个
Tengo
约
cita
会
con，4, ven y venme.
Love you.
所以我爱你们年轻人。
The only person that's going to love you more than this pastor is Jesus himself.
超过本牧师的就是耶稣，也爱你。
El único que te va a amar más es Jesús mismo.
And we are here to help you. Thank you for watching today's sermon.
感谢大家观看今天我们讲的道。
Gracias por mirar ese mundo hoy.
And if you are not saved, I urge you to come to Jesus.
如果你仍未得救的时候，我鼓励你、督促你信靠基督。
Si no eres salvo, te animo que vengas a Jesús.
When I was a young person, I went forward many times to be saved and to rededicate my life, but somehow I never got saved that way.
要在我年轻的时候，我许多次走到前面去得救，或者重新奉献我的一生，但是那样的方式一直没有使我得救。
Cuando yo era joven, yo fui al frente para ser salvo muchas veces, pero no fue así.
When I did get saved, it was a very simple matter.
当我得救那一天，非常简单。
Cuando sí fui salvo fue una cosa muy simple.
I simply came to Jesus and trusted him, and he saved me and washed me clean with his blood.
我就是简简单单信靠了耶稣基督，相信了他，用他的宝血洗净了我的罪孽。
Simplemente vine a Jesús, confié en Él y Él me lavó con su sangre.
It's extremely important to know where Jesus is. I don't think I really thought about that before I was saved, the day I was saved.
要知道，在我得救那天之前呢，我一直没有意识到耶稣到底是在何处，现在在何处，这是非常重要的一点。
Es muy importante que sepas dónde es que está Jesús. Yo no creo que pensé de eso antes del día que fui salvo.
Right now, Jesus is not in the air all around us. He's not on the cross still. Jesus is not in our hearts. The Holy Spirit is, but not Jesus. The Bible says repeatedly, over and over again, that Jesus is at the right hand of God the Father in heaven.
如今呢，耶稣并没有在我们周围各处那个虚无缥缈中间飘，也没有在石架上，更没有在我们心中，圣灵在我们心中。但是圣经重重复复讲到，耶稣基督在上天神的右手边。
Jesús no está todo alrededor de nosotros, no está en el corazón. El Espíritu Santo sí está con nosotros, pero Jesús en la Biblia dice que está a la mano derecha de Dios el Padre en el cielo.
And Jesus loves you. He's not angry with you.
耶稣爱着你，他并没有生你的气。
Jesús te ama, no está enojado contigo.
God the Father is angry with the wicked every day, but Jesus came into the world, the Son of God came into the world to save sinners. And he loves you.
神呢，每一天都生那些罪人的气，因为为他们犯的罪。但是耶稣基督来到人间，他为了就是拯救罪人。
Jesús no está enojado contigo. Jesús vino al mundo para salvar a los pecadores. Él te ama.
And God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Even though he was angry with sin, he loved the world and sent his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16.
虽然神憎恶这些世间的罪孽，但是呢，他爱世人，将他自己的独生子赐给我们，让一切信他的不至灭亡，反得永生。约翰福音3章16节。
De tal manera amó Dios al mundo que dio su Hijo unigénito para que cualquiera que crea en Él no se pierda, mas tenga vida eterna.
Sometimes people ask me, how do you come to Jesus?
有时候常常有人问我，如何才能走向基督？
A veces la gente me pregunta cómo es que vienes a Jesús.
I never answer that question because the Bible doesn't answer it.
我从来没有去回答这个问题，因为圣经没有这样回答。
Nunca doy respuesta de esa pregunta porque la Biblia no da respuesta.
When you are tired of your sin and tired of your struggle, then God will draw you to Jesus, and it will be a very simple matter.
当你厌倦了自己的罪恶的时候，当你厌倦了那种挣扎之下的时候，结果神就会自然而然引导你信靠基督了。
Cuando estás cansado de tu pecado, entonces es un negocio fácil para que Dios te traiga a Jesús.
Not long ago, I was reading again the testimony of the salvation of Dr. A.W. Tozer.
不久以前，我又一次读了A.W. Tozer 博士他得救的见证。
Reciente estaba leyendo de nuevo la conversión al testimonio del Dr. Tozer.
Dr. Tozer heard a man preach the gospel on a street corner.
要叫Tozer博士在一个街头，在街边听到一个人宣讲福音。
Dr. Tozer escuchó a alguien predicando el evangelio de una esquina.
It was the first time he had ever heard the gospel.
这是他第一次听到福音的宣扬。
Fue la primera vez de que había escuchado el evangelio.
He was 17 years old.
17岁才。
17 años de edad.
And Dr. Tozer ran home. He didn't stop to talk to anybody or tell anybody about it. He ran home and went up into the attic of his father's house.
这个Tozer博士一路跑回家，路上没有跟任何人打招呼，跑到家以后去到阁楼上面，他的父亲家里面的阁楼上面藏起来。
Dr. Tozer corrió de la casa después de escuchar eso, no le habló con nadie, se puso enseguida a la azotea de la casa.
And he got down on his knees and came to Jesus.
结果就在阁楼上面单独一个人跪下以后，信靠了耶稣基督。
Se arrodilló y vino enseguida a Jesús.
And he went on to become one of the great preachers of the 20th century.
结果继续成为一个20世纪最知名的一个传教士之一。
Fue uno de los grandes predicadores del siglo XX.
Perhaps that would be a good way for you to do. If you heard this sermon and you feel that you're lost, get in a quiet place by yourself.
有可能这是可以成为你得救的方式。当你在网站上面听到了我们这个宣道的时候，可以自己一个人单独在单独祷告。
Quizás eso sería bueno también para ti. Si estás escuchando este sermón y estás perdido, ve a un lugar callado de solo.
Get down on your knees. That helps to humble you. Get down on your knees and come to Jesus, and His blood will wash every sin away, past, present, and future.
这样跪下呢，帮助你作为一些卑微一下，让这样跪下请求耶稣基督，请求神的原谅，这样呢，原谅你过去、现在和未来全部的罪孽。
Hincate en tus rodillas y ven a Jesús. Él lavará tus pecados pasado, presente, futuro.
Repent and believe in Jesus.
当忏悔，信靠主耶稣。
Arrepiéntete, cree en Jesús.
Turn away from your sinful lifestyle and get down on your knees and simply, by faith, come to Jesus. That's all He requires. Him that cometh to me, I will in no wise cast out, He said in the 6th chapter of John.
在约翰福音6章这里面讲耶稣这样，到我这里来，我绝不会离弃他们。所以你要抛弃自己邪恶的生活，结果转向耶稣，靠信仰信靠他，这就是他所需要的一切了。
Ese camino bien, no lo rechazaré, dijo de breve en el Evangelio de Juan.
And then if you do come to Christ, I pray that you will get into a church as soon as possible and be in church every time the door is open. There's no more important advice that I could give you. Get into a church and be there every time the door is open.
但是当你得到转变之后，一定要找一个地方教会，每一次教会有活动都去参加，没有比这更重要的了。一旦你得到转变，参加一个地方教会。
No hay mejor consejo que te puedo dar menos que ve a la iglesia y esté ahí cada vez que la puerta esté abierta.
And if at all possible, make sure it's a church that preaches from the authorized King James Bible and sings the traditional hymns.
如果可能的话，这个教会应当是宣扬 King James 这版本，而且他们唱的是传统的圣诗。
Y si es posible, asegúrate que sea de la King James y los himnos antiguos.
And go to the pastor and tell the pastor that you've been saved.
而且告诉了牧师你如何得救的。
Habla con el pastor, dile que fuiste salvo.
And the best advice I could possibly give you is to get in to a church, a local church, and be there every time the door is open. That's the way to grow in the grace and knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. And be sure to give a tithe of your money to the church, and God will bless you.
所以我给你最重要的这个建议就是进入一个地方教会，在那里面就是在恩典之下不断成长，而且拿出你的11奉献交给了地方教会。
Métete en una iglesia local, es una de las mejores maneras de crecer en gracia y conocimiento. De un diezmo ahí, Dios te bendecirá.
Now, I would like to ask you to support this ministry and help us.
我现在希望你能够帮助我们网站上的传道事业。
Quiero pedirte de que nos ayudes apoyando este ministerio.
Because these sermons are going out throughout the world in many, many languages, and we're adding more languages almost every month.
要知道，我们这是通过网站各种各样的10几种语言，而且我们越来越多的语言，不断的每个月都要加上去，所以这是传遍世界的一个福音。
Estos sermones van a través del mundo en la internet en muchos idiomas y añadimos más idiomas casi cada mes.
And Dr. Kagan, is our statistician, has estimated, based on various things that he studied, that 80% of those who watch who read my sermons in manuscript form on this website, 80% of them are pastors.
Kagan 博士，我们教会的一个统计学家，他这样估计，就是在我们网站上面读我们讲道的一些朋友呢，80%都是宣道士。
Y el doctor Kagan, que hace la estadística con nosotros, piensa de que 80% de la gente que ve estos videos, escucha, son predicadores.
And they are using these sermons when they get stuck, as I often do, to give them a sermon idea. And in the third world, in places where the gospel cannot go, many preachers are preaching these sermons verbatim, right, word for word.
要知道，很多的牧师，当他们自己根本不知道要宣讲什么的时候呢，通过网站可以得到一些启发。很多在第三世界国家那些教会的牧师，通过我们网站上面逐字逐句，就是用我们的讲的道来宣讲。
Y ayuda a pastores a veces cuando no saben a qué predicar, pero también en los países terceros mundo la están predicando palabra por palabra.
I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know it until not too long ago. But 1/3 of the world does not have any, not even one missionary, doesn't have any missionaries from the United States, Great Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. No missionaries from the English-speaking world in 1/3 of the world.
不知道你有没有注意到，我是最近才发现，就是在1/3世界上的地区，西方世界，美国、英国，而且欧洲、还澳大利亚等等，那么西方世界传教士根本去不到世界1/3地区。
No sé si lo sabes, pero un tercio del mundo no tiene misioneros de que hablan inglés.
Jesus said, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature."
耶稣这样告诫我们要往普天下去，向万民传福音。
Jesús dijo de ir a todo el mundo, predicar el evangelio a cada criatura.
But our Western missionaries cannot get into 1/3 of the world. That's about 2.5 billion people where our missionaries cannot go.
但是我们西方这个传教士大概有1/3的地区，大概也就是2亿5千万人，根本就是我们达不到我们这些西方传教士这个他们这个声音之下。
Un tercio del mundo, como 1 billón de gente, los misioneros nuestros no pueden ir ahí.
But the native pastors are there.
但是有本地的传教士在那里。
Pero los pastores nativos sí están ahí.
And they are the only way, they are the only means of spreading the gospel in those countries is through the native pastors.
在那些地区，就是唯一通过地方的本地传教士来把福音传出去，是唯一的方式了。
Es la única manera de repartir el evangelio es a través de los nativos pastores.
At the beginning of World War II, Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of England, sent a message to President Franklin D. Roosevelt in America, and he said, "Give us the tools and we'll finish the job."
第二次世界大战开始的时候，文斯顿·丘吉尔曾经发了一个信息传给这美国的总统罗斯福，这样祈求到说：“请你们把工具交到我们手中，我们就把这工作完成它。”
Al principio de la guerra mundial, Churchill le mandó una correspondencia al presidente Roosevelt diciéndole, mándanos las herramientas y nosotros terminaremos el trabajo.
And that's what we're attempting to do with this website. We're sending the printed sermons, word for word, on the internet to those nations in the Muslim world, the Buddhist world, the Hindu world, where our missionaries cannot go.
这就是我们通过这个网站所要办到的事情，把这个福音的信息逐句的传到那些1/3，就是穆斯林教国家，还有那些佛教的国家，各种各样的一个传教士去不到的地方，把那些这个武器交到那些传教士的手中。
Y eso es lo que estamos haciendo. Estamos mandando estos sermones escritos palabra por palabra a los lugares musulmanes de otros del mundo que donde los misioneros no pueden ir.
We're giving those native pastors the tools, and they will finish the job of spreading the gospel in those parts of the world where our missionaries cannot go.
我们把这些传福音的工具交在那些本地的传教士他们的手中，他们就会完成这样传福音的工作。
Nosotros estamos dando a esos pastores las herramientas para que ellos puedan hacer el trabajo.
And we are giving those pastors, those native pastors, the tools, and they will finish the job of going into all the world and spreading the gospel to every creature in that 1/3 of the world where our missionaries cannot go.
我们就是把这个工具交到他们这个本地的那宣道士的手中，让他们去到那个1/3我们西方传教士去不到的地方，往普天下去，把这个福音传给万民听。
Estamos mandando estas herramientas a los sermones en ese tercio del mundo donde los misioneros nuestros no pueden ir.
And that's where you come in.
这就是你在这里可以帮助我们了。
Ahí es donde tú ayudas.
I am asking you to help us add more languages and more translators.
现在我就是希望你能够帮助我们更加多一些另外的一些翻译的工作，而且更加多一些语言上去。
Te estoy pidiendo que nos ayudes para que podamos agregar más idiomas idiomas.
People in our own church translate the sermons into Chinese, Japanese, Tagalog, the language of the Philippines, Spanish, and of course I give them in English. And so we are able to do those 5 languages. But all the rest of the languages, we have to pay a small amount of money to the missionaries and Christian workers that translate all the other languages.
要知道，我们本教会这些朋友们已经翻译成了中文、西班牙语，而且日文，还有一些 Tagalog， 就是墨西哥那些 但是呢，其他的这语言呢，都是要有其他的，我们要给他们一些资助，给他们一些报答，让他们来帮助我们做翻译。
Y nosotros en nuestra iglesia estamos nosotros mismos traduciendo en español, en japonés, en coreano, en chino y pues claro en inglés, pero tenemos que pagar a los otros que están afuera de la iglesia.
Now, we have raised a lot of money here for the languages that are already up, but to add more languages, we're going to need your help.
现在我们网站上刊载这个10几种语言呢，我们要用很多这个资金来赞助，但是要加多更多的语言的话，我们就需要你来帮助了。
Gastamos mucho dinero acá para los idiomas que sí tenemos en el sitio internet, pero para añadir más idiomas necesitamos ayuda.
Could you possibly make a monthly pledge to help us add more languages to this website?
你能不能保证每个月来拿出一笔这个资金来帮助我们把更多的语言加在我们网站上面？
¿Podrías mensualmente ayudarnos con una promesa para ayudarnos a añadir más idiomas?
If you can do it, I'm asking you to send $50 a month. If that's not possible, $25 a month, and make a monthly pledge to this ministry to help us get these sermons out in those parts of the world where none of our missionaries can go.
所以我希望你能够每个月呢能够赞助些50块钱，如果不可能的话，25块钱也可以，25块钱能够帮助我们把这个语言，把这各种各样的福音传到这个世界上面1/3地区，我们这个西方传教士去不到的地方。
Si nos pudiera ayudar, por favor, promete para ayudar algo mensualmente para que podamos mandar esto a lugares donde los misioneros no pueden ir.
Because the internet goes everywhere.
因为万维网站呢是去到是无孔不入的。
La internet va a todas partes.
And those native pastors can print out the sermons from their computer or copy them down with a pencil or pen. And often they circulate these sermons and pass them on to others. So would you help us with a monthly gift?
所以那些本地的牧师可以打印出来，或者把它抄下来，或者做拷贝等等，或者是传给另一个人。你能不能帮助我们做好这些工作呢？
Frecuentemente los pastores escriben palabra por palabra lo que se ve en la computadora, pero la cosa es que, por favor, ayúdanos mensualmente.
And if you can do that, you could send the money with a credit card, or you could send it by Western Union, and see if you can send it in with American money if possible. And the sheet will come up in just a moment that tells you how to send the money by credit card or the post office box where you can mail it.
你要是做奉献献给我们教会的话，你可以写支票，一会儿呢，荧幕上在底下就可以看到这个寄给我们这个地址，同时也可以用你的信用卡或者是 PayPal 或者 Western Union 都可以的做奉献给我们教会，请你帮助我们。
Un momento verás la dirección donde se puede enviar el dinero a través de tarjeta de crédito, de PayPal o a Western Union, pero ojalá mándalo en dólares, pero si no, vienen pronto la dirección en la pantalla.
So keep watching, and that information will come up on the screen in just a moment.
所以继续看下来，观看下去，一会儿这个做奉献的这个信息呢，就打印在这个荧幕上让你看了。
Sigue mirando y esa información se verá en momento en la pantalla.